The persistent scourge of racism, understanding its roots and impact. Racism remains one of the most pervasive and harmful issues in contemporary society. Despite significant advancements in civil rights and social justice, the deep-seated roots of racial prejudice continue to affect millions of people worldwide. Understanding the origins, manifestations, and impacts of racism is crucial in the ongoing fight for equality and justice. The roots of racism. Racism is fundamentally the belief that one race is superior to others. This ideology has been perpetuated throughout history, often used to justify the subjugation, exploitation, and oppression of people based on their race. The roots of racism can be traced back to various historical, economic, and social factors. Historical context, colonialism and slavery are significant historical factors that entrenched racial hierarchies. European colonial powers exploited and enslaved people from Africa, Asia, and the Americas, creating systems that dehumanized entire races and entrenched discriminatory practices. Economic factors. The economic benefits of slavery and exploitation reinforced racist ideologies. The need to justify economic practices that relied on the exploitation of certain racial groups led to the propagation of racist beliefs. Social constructs. Over time, societies developed social constructs that categorized people based on race. These constructs were used to define social roles, access to resources, and social status, perpetuating inequality and discrimination. Manifestations of racism. Racism manifests in various forms, from overt acts of violence and discrimination to subtle, systemic biases that permeate institutions and societal norms. Some common manifestations include individual racism. This includes overt acts of prejudice and discrimination by individuals against others based on race. Examples include racial slurs, hate crimes, and discriminatory behavior. Institutional racism. This refers to the policies and practices within institutions that disproportionately disadvantage certain racial groups. Examples include discriminatory hiring practices, racial profiling by law enforcement, and unequal access to education and healthcare. Cultural racism. Cultural racism involves the perpetuation of stereotypes and biases through media, literature, and societal norms. It includes the glorification of one culture over others and the erasure or vilification of minority cultures. The impact of racism. The impact of racism is profound and far-reaching, affecting individuals, communities, and societies as a whole. Some of the key impacts include psychological effects. Racism can cause severe psychological distress, including anxiety, depression, and a diminished sense of self-worth. The constant experience of discrimination and prejudice can lead to chronic stress and trauma. Economic disparities. Racial discrimination in the job market, education, and housing leads to significant economic disparities. Minority groups often face higher unemployment rates, lower incomes, and limited opportunities for upward mobility. Health inequities. Racism contributes to health disparities, with minority groups experiencing poorer health outcomes and limited access to quality healthcare. Stress from experiencing racism can also lead to chronic health conditions. Social division. Racism fosters division and conflict within societies, hindering social cohesion and mutual understanding. It perpetuates cycles of prejudice and discrimination, making it difficult to achieve genuine equality and inclusion. Combating racism. Addressing racism requires a multifaceted approach, involving individuals, communities, and institutions. Key strategies include education and awareness. Promoting education and awareness about the history and impact of racism is crucial. This includes incorporating comprehensive anti-racism education in schools and public awareness campaigns. Policy reforms. Implementing policies that promote equality and address systemic discrimination is essential. This includes reforming criminal justice systems, ensuring equitable access to education and healthcare, and promoting diversity in the workplace. Community engagement. Engaging communities in dialogue and action to address racism fosters understanding and solidarity. Grassroots movements and community-based organizations play a vital role in combating racism. Personal accountability: individuals must take personal responsibility for challenging their own biases and prejudices. This involves self-reflection, educating oneself, and actively standing against racism in everyday interactions. Conclusion: racism remains a significant challenge that requires concerted efforts from all sectors of society. By understanding its roots, recognizing its manifestations, and addressing its impacts, we can work towards creating a more just and equitable world. The fight against racism is ongoing, but through collective action and commitment, we can make meaningful progress towards eradicating this pervasive issue.